journey, and I have some stories to tell you. Two big stories that I feel I need to share with you, that I think you will be very enlightened for me to tell you this, and it's something that you can tell your family or friends about, and to protect them ultimately. I was told two things, within a week, and I feel it necessary to tell you. Well, the first story I want to tell you about is a story of a person who bought a car maybe 20 some odd years ago, the person is telling me. And this could have been the person's first car ever. Well, one day, and again, this was a used car that was bought by this person. And one day, the person is in his car, and he just notices something underneath the glove compartment of the car. And being that this person is inquisitive, he was like messing with it and finds that this thing could open up. And guess what he found? He found illicit drugs, cocaine, and marijuana. And the person said it looked very old in the packaging. It was contained in two bags, gallon-sized bags. The one that had the marijuana was filled to the top, and the one that was cocaine was maybe 3/4 of an inch high. 3/4 of an inch, filled in the bag. Now let's say one day, him not knowing about that or finding it, and he's just minding his own business, he's driving his car, and let's say a cop wants to pull him over for whatever reason, and let's say for whatever reason they want to search his car. And this person who's relaying this story to me had never been arrested in his life. He never done drugs. He doesn't drink, And then let's say the police officer finds it, and of course they're going to arrest him. He said, "Where did this come from? It's not mine. I don't know where that came from." Just imagine if this person has to get a lawyer now, and maybe even plea bargain. This is serious. How did it get in that car? Was this a car that was from a drug bust? So, before any of you buy a car for your children or, significant other, find out the history of that car. Why is this car being sold? Who owned it? Was it impounded by the police? Was someone from the dealership, did they put it in this person's car because maybe they didn't like the person? One thing this person did buy, if I understood right, this person paid cash for his car. Again, it's a used car. And what if you have some people who are jealous of people of color. It was a person of color who bought the car. I've heard of white people, get angry at black people because they said, oh, they're showing off because they have money. Or they get angry because a black person gave them big tip and they want to show off, they said. And they held it with contempt. I kid you not. I've been there, and this person saying that in my presence, right next to me. What if they put it in the car to get him arrested? I know of someone who worked for a company who the person was required to use this company car. And this particular car was involved in some felony. And the company didn't bother changing the license plate or changing something from the vehicle so that it's not associated with that crime anymore. And they allowed this other person of color to use this car to go to different accounts. And the person kept being pulled over by cops. So this guy talks to his company, what's going on? Why every time I'm riding this car, oh, that car was involved in X, Y, and Z, but we just thought it would be funny to have you drive the car. Meaning because he's black. These type of things are going on. It's evil. Some people think it's cute. It's not cute. It's evil. Whether they do it to black people, they can do it to white people, yellow, red. They can do, evil is evil, and they can do it to anyone. So be aware of that and ask about the history of any purchase you do in the future, if you're buying a used car especially. You know, check out those different compartments. Check it out. The other story I want to tell you is regarding housing. I met someone who has a daughter. The daughter's about 30 years of age, white female, and they got their job. They got a job working for the Federal Reserve. I'm not sure if it's the top, because it's more than one Federal Reserve. Like there's the head, and then the head Federal Reserve, and then there's a Federal Reserve assigned to different banks. Okay? Well, either way, this person was hired so that they are to market to minorities, and in particular black people, to have them to give them loans so they can buy a house. Why is the Federal Reserve now so preoccupied to have black people buy homes and take out mortgages for them? Remember in 2008 with those foreclosures that happened with regard to housing. I'm not a housing specialist. I do not have a house. I never owned one. I never had a mortgage. So I don't understand all, how that works. But that this market crash that happened in 2008, you had people who bought homes, and then it was some balloon payment that they had to do, and they didn't have the funds. And so the bank took their homes away. And I even learned of a woman who committed suicide when that happened to her. So I'm just saying, be aware. Why all of a sudden the Federal Reserve wants to target and use a white woman to market to black people and all minorities, so-called minorities, so they can buy a home? Well, I'm thinking that when they know the history, what happens to a lot of blacks, that we're the first ones to lose our jobs. The last one hired, first one fired. And things are very unstable for especially black people. And how some people will do anything to get that American dream and think that they're moving on up like the Jeffersons, that television show from the 1970s. And they know that things like that appeal to black people. Now there are these reality shows with blacks looking like they're so-called successful. But again, as the expression goes, we're one check short of poverty. And poverty is just around the corner for all of us. So I want you aware, especially black people, to be careful of anyone who comes to your door, comes to your project, comes to, where you're living, and want to try to market you to take out a loan, a mortgage, so you can buy a dream house. I sense that things are really happening around the corner, that there's social engineering going on, and that when you have something like this going on, and any time they can change the rules on you, change the interest, and confiscate your property, and then you're left desolate. And who's really backing these loans? Who's buying up America? In New York City, where I live, there are a lot of new establishments opening up. And a lot of these new establishments are not people that look like me. These are people from other countries, from far away. And I think that all of a sudden they're having all this money. Where are they getting this money from? But they have money, and to buy up these businesses, some of them might be money laundering to get these business, to place these businesses, and they can be buying out these loans. And then when you go on foreclosure on the property, they take it, and now now they're going to own America. They're going to own all these homes by blacks and minorities. They social engineer. The white person who was telling me this story about their daughter getting this new job, the daughter had just graduated from college, I think with the master's. And I didn't say anything. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, the buyer beware. The buyer beware. Anyone who's knocking on your door. Please, people, especially black people, please be careful who knocks on your door and want to encourage you to get into debt. Get out of debt quickly. I sense things that are really going to start happening in this country and globally. Please don't get into debt. If you get a big wad of money, an inheritance, and that's something else. But to get into debt, please restrain yourself from doing so. Okay? So I hope you found this information very informative. Definitely share this information with friends and family members, especially young adults who are just starting out and they want to get the American dream image, X, Y, and Z. Please. You could also subscribe to Spirit Journey and to also peruse my other channels that I have out there, and to like my videos. And once again, to give me the thumbs up. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Good evening. This is going to be a postscript. I would like to pose this question to anyone out there who has a legal or law background, or let's say they're a detective or police officer and the like. What could happen to someone if, in this instance, someone had bought a car and they discover illicit drugs, money in the vehicle? They don't know how it got there. What could they do? Should they go to a police station and carry it with them when they go and say, hey, I just found this in my car? What would you, again, I cannot really say, ask you, give me legal advice or give the viewers legal advice. But what could happen to someone who does this? Please let us know. Thank you.